So I've been kind of avoiding making this video. And in the last politically charged video I did, I turned the comments off because I don't want to fucking hear about it. Okay? I don't want to hear you guys go, oh, the left is right and the right is right. Because guess what? Neither one is right when it comes down to it. Our entire way of governing in this country is foobarred. If you don't know what foobarred means, fucked up beyond all recognition. I'm sorry, I don't believe that the electoral college should be a thing anymore. It should be what the popular vote says. Now, with that being said, the orange man did win the popular vote. The orange man is who should be president. Whether you like it or not, that's the way it is. More people came out to vote for the orange man than for the black woman. Get over it, okay? And that's not me being racist. That's me being saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander, okay? So with that, and just to be upfront with it, I did not vote for Donald Trump. I reluctantly voted for Kamala Harris. I say reluctantly because the only reason why I voted for Kamala Harris is because I don't think Trump is going to want to give up his power willingly after the next 4 years. He's going to find some way, somehow, to eke out a a third term, maybe even a fourth term. He's going to find some way to still be your emperor. Because let's face it, that's what he wants anyways. Now, here's what I would love to see the following out of a Trump presidency, and this is me going completely off the cuff as a 39, about to turn 40 in 3 months, white American guy. Here's what I want to see. I want him to stay true to his word when it comes to the abortion rights. I want him to not pass a national abortion ban. And I want him, if he does pass something nationally and federally, I believe in what he believes. Abortion should only take place in the event of incest, rape, health of the mother. That's it. Okay? Now, people go, well, Joe, it's a woman's right. Yeah, and it's also a woman's choice to spread her legs. Let's not forget how people become pregnant to begin with. Oh, Joe, what if the condom breaks? That's the chance you take when you spread your legs, ladies and gentlemen. Do I believe in the morning after pill? Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. That's fine. Do I believe in contraceptives? Yes. Do I believe in condoms? Yes. Do I believe in, what are they, IUDs, the birth control? Yes. I believe in birth control. Okay? But if you have a baby, you know, if you and there are some people that go, well, I was on birth control, but I did get pregnant. My mother was on birth control when she got pregnant with me. Guess what? That's the great risk you still take. If you don't want to have a kid, guess what? Go get your tubes tied. That option is still, as far as I know, still there in some states. And if they're going to leave it up to the state level, guess what? Then you need to quit worrying about the big presidential race and worry about your local elections. Another thing I want to see from a Trump presidency is inflation. I want inflation ground to a halt. I want price gouging ground to a halt. But when I say that, I'm saying that on the realistic view of, guys, you need to realize this. Just because Trump's in office doesn't mean the price of ground beef at your local grocery store is going to go back to 99 cents a pound or even $1.99 a pound. If I'm running a big time corporation right now, if I'm running a packing thing like Tyson Foods, guess what? They know that they can get $3.69 a pound out of you or $6.99 a pound. I eat organic grass-fed ground beef when I can, and I gladly pay $6.99 for it right now because hey, farmers need money too. Meat packers need money too. But I am not delusional in that just oh well Trump is president so that's going to go back down. No, it may not go any higher and I'm grateful for it not to go any higher. But if you honestly think that the price of groceries at your grocery store, if we're going to see 99 cents a dozen eggs anymore, you're freaking delusional. They know they can get $1.99 out of you. So they're going to continue to get $1.99 out of you. It may not go up in price, but it's not going to come down. The only two things, the only, actually, I'll say this, the only thing that's going to come down in this country is gas. Gasoline and energy costs. And I lumped those together. In fact, we already saw it. The day Trump got elected, on like the day after election day, gas prices dropped. Just like the inauguration day of Biden, they shot up by $1 almost in some states. So, I mean, you got to keep a little bit of a realistic mindset when it comes to this whole economy thing. Okay? Another thing I want to see is I'm sorry, but if you work at McDonald's, $20 to flip a hamburger is ridiculous to me. Okay? I grew up working I worked at Subway for 4 years. Okay? I worked there from late 2003 to late 2007. When I started there, I was making minimum wage $5.25. At the end of the 4 years, I think I was clearing $7.50. Actually, I don't even think I was clearing that much. I made let's make one thing clear. I made sandwiches for a living. Okay? In my mid 20s or well, let's see, 2003. I would have been about 17 years old when I started working there. I was about 18 or 19 when I started working there. And then I went to go work for Kroger, and I was started off at Kroger making $8 an hour. You know what I was making by the time I left there 3 years later? 8.75. And that was a union job. During which one of our contract years, the union kowtowed like a bunch of you know whats, and instead of striking, only agreed to a 5 cent raise in our contract. So yeah, unions they're most of the time they're BS. Okay. Um. I mean, but yeah, the no taxes on tips. I want that to come through. No taxes on overtime. I want that to go through. Um. Let's see what else. The border. I mean, my main point in all this is you got what you wanted. Okay, you got what the majority of America. I'm speaking to you. You got what you wanted. Now it's time to hold him accountable, regardless of who is in his cabinet, regardless of what he says. We have to hold this guy accountable for his actions. We have to say, okay, we put you in there. Now do what you said you were going to say you were going to do. The border. It is time to close that border up. I heard somebody on MSNBC or CNN, one of these damn crazy ass news networks. And let's make one thing clear: the old ass morons at Fox News are no better. But I heard somebody go, I'll go ahead and say his name. It was this Van Jones guy saying there are people going to be waking up tomorrow who hand you your dry cleaning that don't have papers that are going to be scared to death. There are going to be people who do that, who work in the hospitality industry, who don't have papers, who are going to be scared to death. Now, let me tell you something, dude. If you don't have papers that say you have a legal right to be in this country, then you shouldn't be here. And that's any country. Any country. England's dealing with a massive immigration issue now. If you cannot provide an ICE agent with documentation saying that you are legally allowed to be in this country, then you should be put on a freaking bus or an airplane or taken back to whatever country you're from and dropped off and said, just tell them, good luck. Don't bring your butt back here. Well, Joe, the immigration process takes about 3 years, and I don't care. Then you wait and you sit in your little hovel down in Mexico or Germany or England or wherever it is you want to come from until the process until our government tells you, okay, come on in. Good luck. You shouldn't. I mean, how hard is that to understand? If you don't have papers, you should not be here. And I'll be the first one to tell you. I don't care how much it costs me. If you have to temporarily, notice I said temporarily, raise my taxes to fund the mass deportation of illegal immigrants, then do it. And that's not a race thing. It's not a xenophobic thing. It's a matter of legality and what's fair. These people are taking up our jobs. These people are not paying taxes. These people are doing whatever it is they do here in this country, and they shouldn't be here doing it. I don't care what you call me. Again, the comments are off because I know there's going to be some idiot out there who calls me racist because of that. Well, Joe, you don't know what it's like. I don't want to know what it's like. I don't have to know. I was lucky enough to be born here. And I'm sorry, if you come here illegally just to have a kid, and so you can say, oh, he's born here. Nope, sorry, the kid gets to go back with you. Or you can leave your kid here and he can become part of the system. That's just the way it is. Too bad, so sad. You don't get to come here and fuck around on a loophole. The same way with these damn people who come here and they pay men and women, hey, will you marry me and stay with me for 6 months so that I can get my citizenship, and then after that we can divorce you and I'll pay you $10,000 for it. Nope, that stops too. That's got to stop too, because it does happen. This arranged marriage shit just so somebody could come in and get their citizenship. Nope, nope. Sorry. I believe that the days of loopholes should, when it comes to immigration, should be closed. No more. Now, let's get to me, which for me is the big campaign promise with him. This guy said, if you elect me as president, I'm going to get the war in Ukraine to stop in 24 hours. So for me, the moment he says, so help me God on that Bible, okay? The moment he says, so help me God, on that Bible, the 24-hour clock starts. And if 24 hours from then, and don't give me this, well, Joe, realistically, it's going to take more than 24 hours. Nope. He campaigned and he promised that that war will be over within 24 hours of him taking office. We have to hold him accountable. If Biden were to say, or if Harris would say the same thing, you would hold her accountable. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So within 24 hours of him saying, "So help me God," when the word God comes out of his mouth, it's like an episode of 24. The clock starts. And within 24 hours, if that war isn't over with, or if we are not out of that war, meaning we stop giving them money, we stop giving them weapons, we pull, if we have any troops over there whatsoever, we pull them away, and we look at both sides of it and go, tra la, c'est la vie, good luck to both of you. Now, as far as the war in Israel goes, I don't know what to make of that damn thing because you got, on one hand, I do believe in a two-state solution, but the guy who what is Netanyahu? He's a Yahoo, all right. I think they need to throw him in the jail cell with Hamas. And the problem with this is we can go in there and clear out Hamas the same way we went into Afghanistan and cleared out the Taliban. The problem is the second we move out, and the second we say, okay, job's done, we're sending our troops home, what's to stop Hamas from coming back in just like the Taliban did? Except for this time, oh, Sleepy Joe left them a bunch of weapons to fight use. That's my main thing with the war in Afghanistan. When Biden pulled our troops out of Afghanistan, and they said, "Oh, but they left all the weapons behind." I'm like, "Are we crazy? Do the American people not see that those aren't just weapons like mortars and tanks and bunkers and all this stuff that we left over there? That's our tax dollars. That's our tax. You know that little thing that says federal income tax on your little pay stub? Part of that is now in the hands of the Taliban overseas because we had an incompetent old fart who just said, yoink, pulled the rug out from underneath them and pulled our troops along with it and forgot to clean up the broken glass that the jerk of the tablecloth left behind. So I want to see that cleaned up too. As far as the Israel thing, I want us to look at what's wrong with looking at the rest of the world and going, clean up your own mess. Just don't come near us. Don't threaten us. What's wrong with that? You know, we're all for taking our money and helping these Ukrainians. But San Francisco has a homeless and crime issue that we do nothing about. We have homeless people on our streets that can't eat, but instead of feeding them, we're sending military rations and food to Gaza and to Ukraine and to everybody else. Why can't we take a step back and say, hey, let's help our own? Let's help our own. And it shouldn't be up to me to take money that's out of my paycheck to help these people. It's what I pay taxes for. You know, people say, well, help your fellow man. I do. I bust my ass and I pay my taxes. I don't want my money going overseas anymore. Let them clean up their own shit. If these idiots want to fight themselves and fight with each other, that's on them, bro. That's on them. As long as it don't hurt me and as long as it don't hurt my country, I don't care what happens to them. You want to blow yourself up 300 miles away, 3,000 miles away from me? Have at it. It's time that we put ourselves first. Like I said, we got people on the streets. There's a fentanyl epidemic going on right now. Yes, I know people who have been hurt by it. It's not some made up thing from the Republicans or made up thing from the Democrats. No, the fentanyl issue in this country is real. So, those are some things that I want out of this Trump presidency. I want him to put America first. I want him to stop the inflation, stop the hemorrhaging that this is causing. I'm not even saying you gotta, like I said, I'm not even saying that you gotta lower the prices. Because Biden's own secretary, was the Secretary of Commerce or whatever, whoever this old woman was, stood up there in front of Congress and said, well, I don't think the prices need to be lowered. So even the Democrats are saying, oh, the prices aren't going to go any lower. You think the fat cat business loving Republicans are going to lower the prices? No. Why? Because they all got stakes and stocks invested in these companies. If you honestly think, though, here's another one. Here's another one that kills me. Here's another one. Well, when Trump was in office, gas was down to about $1 a gallon. Yeah, in 2020, late 2020 and early 2021, when the pandemic was around, gas was about $1.99 to a 90, some states places it was even like 93 cents a gallon. Because you morons, you don't get the concept of supply and demand. There was nobody driving. Everybody was staying home. So he had a surplus of oil. So they sold it off cheap to get rid of it. And you have these naysayers out here going, nah, man, gas was 99 cents a gallon back in 2019. No, it wasn't. I was out here. I was driving. I was seeing, I passed, I don't know how many gas stations a day and looked up at those signs and saw that it was damn near $3 a gallon or $4 a gallon in California. Then the pandemic came and it lowered because everybody stayed at home. While Trump was in office, this happened. While Biden was in office, it continued to happen. Then the vaccine came out. We started getting herd immunity. Everybody got better. A lot of lives were lost. But then everybody started driving again. And gas prices went up because the demand for it went up. Like I said, I don't think prices are going to go down, but I don't want them to go up anymore. When I very first started, driving a truck again in 2017, um, I could get by with me and my own on about $200 a week. Now I have to take 250 a week and allot it to myself. Some weeks, depending on what part of the country I travel in, 300. I'd like it to be able to go back down to 200, but I don't think that's ever going to happen again. So, because food's expensive out here, even when I go grocery shopping, food's expensive out here, folks. But yeah, it's like that. I want us out of this war in Ukraine. I either want the war to stop to where we don't have to give them money no more, or I want us to not give them money anymore. I'm sorry. I don't. I mean, I can't. I hate. I'm repeating myself at this point, but those are the things that I want to see from a Trump presidency. You know, and I said that if it had been any other Republican in that spot, I would have voted Republican for the very first time in my life with this election. The Democrats, we y'all bumbled it. We bumbled it. I can say that because I voted for the guy. We bumbled it big time with Biden. Biden was supposed to be a transitional president anyway. He wasn't supposed to try to run again. And if he would have stepped back, I have a huge feeling that if he would have stepped back and they would have had a primary like they were supposed to have, then we wouldn't have been in this mess. I don't think we would have been in this mess. But that Democratic Party, with their woke politics, They just proved the old saying true. You go woke, you go broke. And what do they have to show for it? Not a damn thing. Not a darn thing. Go look at what Bill Maher said. When you find yourselves in a hole, you need to stop digging. Maybe you need to look a little bit inwards and realize, what did we do wrong? Where do we go from here? Anyway, folks, that's me ranting about politics. I hate doing it. I hate doing it. I don't like politics. Again, I think the way we govern in this country is wrong. The whole system's broken. It doesn't matter whether you run on the left or you run on the right. You're just a good guy trying to, you're a bad guy trying to play the good guy. And probably since Bill Clinton left office, it's been which is the lesser of two evils. So why can't Bill run again? Oh, he served his 2 terms and left. So I mean, let's face it, Bill Clinton, his biggest problem was he couldn't keep it in his pants. So that's all we got to worry about. I don't care who, I really don't care who Trump screws and then pays money to. What you do in your personal life should be just that, personal. How do we know Obama ain't been out there on the hunt? Imagine that. Who knows? Maybe Biden was on the hunt too. But Obama, Biden, whatever, it's getting late. But that's what I want to see from a Trump presidency. Just hold him accountable to his actions and don't laugh it off. And don't sit there and go, oh, he just said what he had to say to get elected. Now he can get in there and do this, this, this. No. He made campaign promises, and we need to hold him accountable to those. That's all I'm saying. If you say you can do something within 24 hours, well, the clock needs to start, and 24 hours later, you need to do what you said you were going to do. Anyway, folks, if you see a big rig on the road, give us plenty of room out here. Do not tailgate us. Let us over if we need to get over. Use your turn signals. Go the speed limit. And if you can't see our mirrors, we can't see you. We'll see you down the road.